blood.
Like, you do not need to go out every day.
College is really hard.
Just to get involved in class.
Guys, welcome back to another episode with Let's College It. I'm Lilia, a junior in high school and the co-founder of Let's College It, where we visit over 2,000 colleges and bring you the best advice and the best perspectives. So today we have Kathy in the house. She's going to UPenn. Congratulations. That's so amazing. I'm sure it was a long way here, and today I'm so excited to get to know this long way and to get to know your journey. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, hi, I'm Catherine. You can call me Kathy. And I am going to be a first-gen college student at UPenn. So I plan on majoring in biochemistry. So I'm hoping that works out. And I want to be on the pre-med track. So
Oh my goodness, that's a lot to take on, biochemistry and med. So can you tell us a little bit? I mean, UPenn is such an amazing school. So can you tell us a little bit about your reaction when you found out you got in?
okay, so when I found out I got in, I was actually at school. So it was during the school day. I was really nervous because I knew that decisions were coming out that day. So I just remember, I guess it was like, honestly, it's all a blur that day, but I remember like tearing up before I even opened the decision letter. And it was me and four of my closest friends. We actually snuck into the college counselor's office, and we like all opened it together. And as soon as I like opened it and I saw the confetti pop up on the screen, I immediately started yelling and I started crying, and I just remember I was so excited. Um because I guess like it felt like it was such a bittersweet moment because it was like everything that I had worked so hard for throughout the whole like high school and everything, like it was finally worth it. So it really was just so bittersweet. And I just remember feeling so many emotions. Like I was calling my parents on the phone, and I was crying, and I couldn't stop crying for like the next few hours because it didn't feel real in that moment.
My
So
goodness, and you said you're a first gen. That's amazing. Oh
yeah.
my goodness, everything that you really worked hard for, it came to fruition. And
Yeah.
how many schools did you apply to other than UPenn?
I applied to around 15 to 20 schools, but it was mostly just state schools because I knew that it was going to be really like financially taxing for me and my family to be able to like leave the state. So I had already set in my head, like I had already set my mind to staying in Texas, um, and not really planning on going anywhere else unless there was like a random like opportunity, which did end up happening. But I did only stick to Texas schools. And then through Questbridge, that's where I actually started branching out and applied to out of state schools. And yeah, I guess those were more like my reach schools that I applied to, but I mostly only applied to like safeties or targets.
And you said 15 to 20 schools. I mean, that's a huge amount for applying to college. So I'm sure you had to deal with many, I mean, either wait lists or rejections amongst the acceptances. So how did you really deal with that? Because that's such a relevant feeling.
Um, I guess it was a little disheartening sometimes when I would open it and see like wait lists or rejections, because it was like if I couldn't even get into these schools, like why would I even think about getting into any other reach schools, like high top 10 schools. So it was kind of discouraging sometimes, but I think what really helped me through the whole process was just being able to um, I guess like have some support system, as well as just being able to like continue my like allowing myself to stay motivated and not just get discouraged that easily, because like if one door closes, that does not mean like it closes every other door. So I really just had to keep pushing through regardless of the rejections. And yeah, I feel like that was pretty much it.
And is that how you stay motivated, by really thinking like, if one door closes, doesn't mean everything else is closed as well?
Yes, that really is what helped me through. I guess also my like another big support system was my mom. Like whenever I didn't get into a few schools that I was hoping to get into, she really did just tell me like everything happens for a reason. And I just kept trying to remind myself that like if just because I didn't get into that school, that does not mean I won't get into any other schools. So I really just had to keep reminding myself and engraving that into my head.
That's beautiful. And she was right. I mean, look, you have now such an amazing opportunity that you worked so, so hard for throughout high school. And you mentioned the Questbridge program, the Questbridge scholarship a couple of times. So I wanted to ask you, like, can you walk us a little bit through that process of applying through it? And really, how did you receive all these scholarships through it?
Yes, of course. Okay, so the Questbridge program actually opened at around like August 1st. So as soon as I found out about it, I immediately started the whole process of applying. And then I actually turned it in the day before it was due. So I was working on it for like a good while, making sure everything was perfect and up to my standards. And it like consisted of like some essays, short answer questions, letter of recs, and just personal and academic information. And then on October, I believe it was like October 18th, they actually announced the finalists. So I remember I was actually at home that day because it was after school, and it was so nerve-wracking because I was like, if I don't become a finalist, like the whole Questbridge thing is over. Like I have to find another scholarship to apply to. So it was really nerve-wracking, but I remember as soon as I opened it and it had like a video and it was like, congrats, you're a finalist. I was so excited. And from that moment like until November 1st, it was nonstop grinding and researching and all of that because I had to finish 7 college applications for the schools that I had ranked. So it gave me about like a good 2 weeks to do all 7 of them. And I just remember any like spare moment that I had, I was just on my laptop constantly like answering those SAQs. And then I turned it in exactly November 1st, like at around 10 p.m. I remember I was so stressed out. And then on December 1st, it was match day. So that's the day we all found out if we got matched into one of our 7 schools. And well, it was 15, but I chose 7. But I opened it at school, like I said, and I found out that I got matched to the University of Pennsylvania.
Wow. And being a Questbridge finalist, does that mean that they cover your full tuition?
Yes, for the full 4 years, they cover everything that I need. And it really just I feel like it depends from school to school because some of them do need a parent contribution, but from UPenn it said that I didn't need any, so it's completely covered.
Wow, worked out perfectly. And
Yeah.
so, what advice do you have for? I mean, a lot of students right now are about to start college applications, and August 1st is coming up, for the Questbridge to open up. So, what advice do you have for them?
I feel like I would just tell them like apply to every scholarship, every summer college program, any like mentorship programs and any fly-ins because honestly they really are worth it because I did a few fly-ins, a little like either like fly-ins or virtual fly-ins, and they really did help a lot with the whole navigating the college process because it really is extremely stressful trying to figure it out on your own, especially if you're a first gen student. It's so confusing figuring out the whole application process, and they really do help.
Yeah. And what advice do you have specific to Questbridge?
Start as early as possible, honestly, because it is a long, lengthy application that requires so much like thought into it, I think. Because that application is the one that you're sending off to colleges. So
Wow.
you have to make sure everything on there is exactly what you want the colleges to see.
Wow, that requires so much depth, I'm sure. And I wanted to ask you, what are you really excited? I mean, this is such a new step coming into your life chapter. So, what are you most excited about, in this college life that you're about to get, both academically, socially, personally, every side of it?
I think I'm mostly excited about moving to a new state. I mean, I've never really been outside of where I live, so I've only stayed here. I've never really explored anywhere else. So I'm really excited to, I guess, see new places and meet new people and create new connections. Um, because I do live in a small city, so everyone here practically knows each other and they're all basically connected in any way, shape, or form. So I guess being in a bigger place where like no one knows me, I don't know anyone, is really exciting to be able to start over and really, I guess, find out who I am in college because I feel like that's basically what the whole college thing is about. And I'm also really excited about just exploring my networking opportunities with like my professors and my classmates and hopefully doing some internships in the summer.
Wow, that is huge. I mean, to think that you are leaving the state that you called home for so long and you're going somewhere. I mean, the weather is, I'm sure, completely different, the people, the environment, but that's so exciting. And you're doing this all kind of, I mean, by yourself in a sense. You know, you're adventuring. And I love the fact that you said that you want to explore who you are in college because, as you said, it is a huge part of college. You're going to figure out who you are as this is the first time that you're truly independent. That's so exciting for you.
It is.
And I wanted to also talk to you a little bit about, you know, your journey to UPenn so far. What has been your interest, both extracurriculars and just academically?
I feel like for as long as I can remember, I have loved STEM subjects. Like for the longest time, I always said that once I go to college, I want to be a woman in STEM. And I stuck to that. I applied to UPenn with a major in biochemistry. So I plan on doing that. And I hope to double major once I'm over there. I'm not sure in what yet, but probably another STEM subject because I really do love STEM, except math. I feel like that is definitely one of my weaker subjects, but regardless, that has definitely been one of my academic interests. And I guess for extracurriculars, I really love extracurriculars and just like things that have to do with community as well as teamwork based. So once I'm at UPenn, I hope to explore some clubs that have to do with like Hispanic heritage as well as just more teamwork based things. I remember I was looking into the Penn cheerleading team, and I hope to join that either this year or next year. Since I was part of my dance team all throughout high school, so I feel like that would just bring me a sense of home over there at Pennsylvania.
Oh my goodness, a woman in STEM that does cheer. I love that.
Yeah.
And I mean, going back a little bit to what you said about this transition, is we said it's going to be huge going from Texas to UPenn, Pennsylvania. That's amazing. But how do you plan to really make sure that this is going to be a smooth transition for you?
I think it honestly just comes down to a lot of like family and friend support. As of right now, that's really what I'm relying on, as well as like branching out to the few people that I know that are going to Penn and I just making those close connections as of right now. Um, as well as just making lists. I feel like that's the only thing that's really helping me right now. Just making sure I get everything before I leave in August and just staying on track with everything because the last thing I want is to feel unprepared once I'm over there.
Oh my goodness, I can definitely relate with the list. The only thing that keep me sane are lists. To-do list, so many. I have like 10 a day, more actually. And one of the biggest things that really inspired me about you was the fact like that you were so involved in learning sign language. I mean, that's huge to be able to not only just learn a different language, but something that is so like far away from what you know is really inspiring to people like me. So what really motivated you to learn that?
I feel like ever since I was younger, I always had like an interest in it. It always just seemed very interesting. And I know that like a very small percentage of the population actually communicates with sign language. So it's not really something that like is super well learned or like taught. But it's something that has always intrigued me. And like anything else, I just wanted to be able to communicate with others better So it's really been a process attempting to learn it. I find out new things about it every time, and it is extremely difficult to actually try to communicate with other people through sign language, but I feel like I'm sort of getting the hang with it as I go along.
It's as anything else in life, it's a long journey. And I love how everything that you do shows kind of your going back to the aspect of community and communicating with, different people. I love that you're so kind of all around involved. And it's really amazing to see people like that. So congratulations. And
Thank you.
thank you so much for your time, and thank you for sharing your experience so far. It's really inspiring to me, and I'm sure to so many others watching. So again, thank you, and I can't wait to see what you're gonna accomplish at UPenn, and this transition for you is gonna be so 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 amazing.
Thank you. I also can't wait to see.
You have a big big dream, and I can't wait to see it, coming into fruition. And I can't wait to see you being a woman in STEM and really living out your dream. And
Thank you.
my favorite question that I love to ask is, what impact do you want to have after UPenn?
Well, like I said, I want to be on the pre-med track, so I hope to one day become a doctor. And something that I've always, like, I guess, thought about was being able to give back to my community since I live in a very low funded community. STEM subjects, especially for women, is not something that's well known here. So I want to be able to, I guess, expand that, and allow other girls, I guess, as they're getting older, getting into high school, being able to realize that STEM is not just a male dominated, like, curriculum, and that they can do it just as well. And I want to be able to give back to my community in that aspect, as well as hopefully one day create nonprofits and be able to just expand the women in STEM. And yeah.
I love your motivation to give back. And again, going back to community, you're all like rounded in community, and I love that. That's something that makes up a really big part of you, I can tell. And I'm sure you're gonna do great things with that. I can't wait to see your nonprofits, your woman in STEM. Like, you have so much going on for you.
Thank you.
But